Next up, we have Bob Ficalora, came in from New York. He has been litigating our Constitution in a court of law for the last 12 years in Montauk, Long Island, New York. Please give a round welcome. Welcome
on this cold day.
Ficalora.
Thanks so much. Hello, people. I prepared a speech, and I have to say, you know, I can't hold a candle to my predecessor speakers here. Everybody was so great. This is not a rah-rah speech. I think everybody knows the issues of what we're dealing with, so there's no need to go over that. I will make a few points. One, we're not at war with Iraq. We've never been at war with Iraq. There has been no constitutionally required declaration of war by Congress. Congress does not have the power or the authority to say we can go to war against a country that was formerly at peace in violation of our international obligations, even though they alleged that they could do that. They have no right to do that. So I've been an activist against war since 1973. After the Christmas bombing of Hanoi. So I've seen a lot of wars. I've been against a lot of wars. And I've done a lot of activism all through that period. So what I'm going to talk about now in this speech is about a lot that I've learned having been in court past 13 years in the state of New York on constitutional issues. Attempting to uphold the colonial charter from 1696 and the rights that were granted, sovereign rights of jurisdiction, the rights we fought the American Revolution to protect specifically that have been suppressed there. We're going to win. And let me give this speech. And I made it short and sweet. Hopefully you like it. Fellow citizens and lovers of peace and liberty. In a few minutes, a committee in the Washington State Senate will convene a hearing on Senator Eric Gomeg's Joint Memorial 8016 to investigate allegations of impeachable offenses and, if discovered, to commence impeachment proceedings against President Bush and Vice President Cheney. There are many senators to whom we must thank who are sponsors of this resolution. I hope that you'll join me and we'll all recognize them and thank them. I was invited to address you today by my friend Michael Tivana because he feels that people are distressed by the actions of our elected representatives from the Democratic Party. I don't think anybody really cares about the Republicans in this audience. They're always distressed about those guys, you know, and gals. But the Democratic Party, amazingly, Governor Christine Gregoire, Senator Patty Murray, U.S. Representative Jay Inslee, and Jim McDermott oppose this important resolution that the state Senate is going to be considering today. Jim McDermott. Jim McDermott. It's true. It's sad. I mean, it's just, you know, it's yeah, right? Go figure. The feeling now is that the Democratic Party has failed us and that we need an alternative that can deliver on the will of the people in the defense of the Constitution and our liberties. Because, you know, we talk about, oh, what will our kids and posterity think about us if we allow these injustices that are being made against others to continue. But people, they're coming after us now. Okay, they're coming after us now. It's not so much about what we're doing to others. It's what this organization of government is threatening us with. All right? So a very short introduction to my work is important, I think, appropriate, because who the hell am I anyway flying in from New York to address you, right? Who is this guy? I've been a Democratic Party activist since 1984 when I was going to work for George McGovern. He dropped out of the race after Massachusetts, but I was going to be a delegate from Connecticut for him. I was living in Connecticut at the time. great man. I don't know if you've met George or are familiar with his work. George McGovern, what a fantastic, last great politician in American politics, in my opinion. Anyway, in 1988, I worked in the Jackson campaign in Atlanta. We swept the South. In 1992, I ran the Washington State campaign for Governor Jerry Brown. Now, if you were here for that event, and especially the Democratic Party caucuses and the primary of that year, we overran the caucuses in the state of Washington for Jerry Brown. In Thurston County, they were out the doors. They couldn't fit them in the buildings. It was a little revolution we had going for Jerry Brown. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, because there was this AM radio station that was reporting on the elections, and the guy was saying, "We're not getting any word about Washington State. Does anybody know what happened in Washington State?" And I'd gotten calls in. Pierce County, solidly brown. Thurston County, solidly brown. And the kids from University of Washington in Seattle were working hard. I mean, I had them all organized and running, and we just creamed everybody. Tsongas had dropped out. Nobody had heard of Clinton at the time. It was an early race. We just creamed everybody. So the Democratic Party, to this day, has never released the results of the 1992 Washington State primaries. Never released the results. And Clinton, because I got the report from the state headquarters, Democratic Party headquarters in Seattle, they were working hard to try to get the number for Clinton over the 15% threshold required for any representative at the National Convention that was in New York City that year. They couldn't get him over 15%, so they never released the results. And Clinton should not have had one delegate to the National Convention. But it was mostly Clinton. They cheated. And the same thing was repeated all across the United States. Okay. And then I used to go back and forth every year between Montauk and Olympia. We would stay here in the winters because we liked the rain, the cold, the dreary, all that stuff that everybody in Olympia loves so much about Olympia. People thought we were nuts just coming here for the winter. We run a seasonal resort motel in Montauk in the summer. And so, what the hell? Get enough sun there in the summer. So we crossed the country, by car. And there was not more than 1 or 2 bumper stickers for George Bush. There was no campaign run by Mr. Bush Sr. in 1992 against Bill Clinton. It was a management change. That wasn't an election. It was a management change. They cheated in the Democratic Party events, and then it just had a good old boy change. And people asked me, "Well, aren't you for Clinton?" And I said, he's nothing but a better salesman for fascism, because that's what we're looking at. We're looking at fascism, people. And